Well, for us lovers of the beautiful game, it's the best time of the season, and we're going to make some big announcements ahead of the ABSA Premiership season tonight, live right here. We're all coming to you from the Randburg studios of your World of Champions, and we're joined by so many individuals that are a big part of the footballing family here in South Africa. We've got some key stakeholders from the Premier Soccer League, from ABSA, from the clubs, our fans, and everyone really that forms such an important and integral part of what is called the ABSA Premiership. So two huge announcements that are going to be made live right here in Randburg, but in addition to that, we're going to be crossing to various venues all across the country and really celebrating a major announcement that is going to be made live right here. So let's get it all started. But before we even take a look into what it is that we can expect this coming season in the ABSA Premiership, let's look back at what the past 10 years have had in store.
ABSA, a proudly South African brand, has played its part in enriching lives through its unwavering support and commitment to the beautiful game in this beautiful country. And the journey began here.
Fine ball, James late, it's late, here's the one who's giving them hope. Makata, it's Bunny in the 18 area again.
The Pirates, champions again.
But they are the champions. Chabalala, Halamasha!
Kaiser Chiefs are crowned champions. Queuing up, and that is magnificent football from Mamelodi Sundowns
In the 2014-15 ABSA Premiership season, Kaiser Chiefs, they are the ABSA Premiership champions of the 2015-16 season. Mamelodi Sundowns, the ABSA Premiership trophy, and he, Tshwane will be the first to get fingerprints onto it, alongside, of course, his partner, for the most part, in...
Now, looking forward, ABSA commits itself once again to the cause of uplifting the lives of every passionate South African through harnessing the power of the ABSA Premiership and making Diski better.
Well, it's been 10 awesome years of the ABSA Premiership, hasn't it? So as we said, two very big announcements. Let's get into our first big one. Joined now in studio by the chairman of the Premier Soccer League, and that is Dr. Ivan Khoza. And from ABSA, we've got the ABSA and Barclays Africa Group Executive Marketing and Corporate Relations, and that is Mr. Bobby Malabi. A very good evening, gentlemen. As we said, everyone is waiting in anticipation. We've celebrated 10 amazing years of the ABSA Premiership, and now it's time to usher in a new era, right?
Indeed.
All right, so we've got the official signing of the contract. So that's the first part of the announcement, is that we are, of course, looking forward to the continuation of this wonderful relationship between the Premier Soccer League and, of course, ABSA. It is made official tonight, live, as you can see, the signing of the contract between the Premier Soccer League and ABSA.
Good man.
Signed, sealed,
Thank you,
and delivered.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much. Wow. So that is very significant, isn't it, Dr. Khoza? I want to start off with you. We've been seeing 10 years of amazing footage, wonderful scenes in terms of the ABSA Premiership. Tonight is a very big night in the history of South African football because, as we said, you're renewing or you're continuing this wonderful partnership with ABSA. But it's also about making fans a major part of this football experience, isn't it?
I think it's very important to acknowledge, Carol, by the way, happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much.
It's very important to acknowledge that Mr. Bobby Malabi is an old hand in marketing. There's one thing he understands, that, it's important for you to socialize your brand with the current, customer, with the future customer. Because if you don't do that, you're going to remain with your current customers. So it's very important that he has taken a conscious decision to invest in an organization that manufacture and package personal emotions. That these personal emotions, they create families in them. Creating families, they're creating a captive market, which makes it very interesting for him to grow the brand and socialize the brand. But more importantly, to create the discussion for the fans on an ongoing basis.
Give us a few more details as well about what it is that you've just signed there with ABSA.
This is remarkable, especially in this tough economic climate. I want to thank the managing director of ABSA and the board, Maria Ramos, and more importantly, Mr. Boima Labi, for making sure that this sponsorship is a sponsorship of almost $500 million for the years to come. So I think it's a unique situation that we find ourselves on a sponsor that is showing confidence in a league that has grown by leaps and bounds, and is one of the most unpredictable leagues in the world. One of the two most unpredictable in the league. You cannot have one team winning the league every time. It changes all the time.
Well, congratulations, Bobby. I mean, this is really, really very significant. ABSA, it seems, has become very much ingrained when it comes to football in South Africa. I mean, you look at, obviously, 10 years ago with this particular relationship, signing over the naming rights of the ABSA Premiership from the ABSA Cup. Tell us, why football for ABSA?
Carol, let me also acknowledge a significant month. Happy Women's Month, so well done there. So I'm very excited. This is a significant moment for us. You've seen on the screen 10 years. We've been there 10 years. It's been a great 10 years. And what better way to start the new decade, open the new decade with renewing our relationship with the sponsorships. I'm incredibly happy. You know, soccer is one of the most important part-time in South Africa. I think 30 million people watch the ABSA Premiership every year. That's a big number. Yeah. And as the chairman just indicated, it's one of the most unpredictable leagues in the world. So we're very, very excited to renew the sponsorship. We're very excited to open up the next decade, perhaps, of really excitement between us. And bearing in mind that, we don't operate only in South Africa, we operate across our borders as well in 10 other countries. This premiership is watched across the continent as well. So we're very, very excited and looking forward to another really fantastic stay with the Premier Soccer League.
Yeah, a fruitful one.
Very, very excited.
Yeah, what we love as well, Bobby, is that, ABSA not only associated with the brand of the Premier Soccer League and the ABSA Premiership, but what we've seen as well is that last season you used the ABSA Premiership to bring your Ready to Work initiative to life. Yeah. Tell us a little bit more about that and why it's so important in the context of South African football.
Sure. I mean, we've already said how important soccer is, but for us as a bank, there's other things that are even as important. Like, for instance, education is very, very important for us. And Ready to Work is one of the initiatives that we're pulling together with leveraging a phenomenal sponsorship to do Ready to Work, which is an online free training initiative that we're putting out there. So what it means, as the name implies, is we're helping kids who's just finished school or finished university and make them ready for the world of work. But not only are we doing that, we're spending, I think, roughly this year in excess 210 million rands, sponsoring about 3,000 kids on scholarships right across our universities. Wow. So we're integrating all these things with the sponsorship. So I'm really excited about the initiatives that have now become very important for us and leveraging the sponsorship to do all that.
We really, really love it. So as you've heard, ABSA is making football better, not just for the fans that enjoy the action on the field of play, but also off it as well. And I think this is an element that you really love, Chairman, is the fact that, it's not just about what happens on the field of play. This partnership, this sponsorship is so much more. It really is about South African society and the football fans off the field as well.
I think it's very important to acknowledge that these are responsive organizations. That is important to upskill our kids, upskill the personnel in the industry to make sure that they are ready to take the economy forward. But more importantly, these 10 years has signified something very strange that is significant to mention. That, as a child who was 15 years, 10 years ago, with this package, investment of emotions, Now, today, when you talk about that, it's 25 years. He's an active, a citizen in the economy.
Yeah.
He's an active customer, which is exposed, to this family of emotions that is PSL, the vehicle of ABSA, the one driving all these things, together. Meaning, there's a future for ABSA, there's a future for football.
Absolutely.
There are no better partners than ABSA and the PSL. Because
Thank you,
we
sir.
are the one that, manufacture emotions. We are responsible for the happiness index of this country. So therefore, with ABSA,
Yep.
being the bank of the people, it just says to us, is the future is defined and is secured when you join ABSA going forward into the future.
Thank you,
Because
Chair.
for the all 10 years,
Yeah.
we are all the time making sure that we are packaging you with emotions, but more so preparing you
Yeah.
for skills to be a meaningful participant in the economy of the country.
Unbelievable. So another handshake, please, as we
Another
make it
handshake,
official.
indeed.
Yes, to a couple more fruitful years when it comes to it. So really, when it comes to this particular partnership, it's more than just the naming rights when it comes to the beautiful game. We've spoken about how important it is to involve the fans and to make the experience that much bigger and that much better. While the Premier Soccer League, ABSA, as well as broadcasters have been working very hard behind the scenes to come up with a campaign that is going to make Diski so much better for all of you football lovers. Just take a look.
When the world sees a stadium divided in black and gold for 90 minutes, we see the sons and daughters of those who have defended their colors over generations. When a super slow-mo replays a ball flying past the fingertips of an outstretched hand, we see a story to be told again and again every time the two challengers clash. From Polokwane to Cape Town, Rustenburg to eThekwini, Rivalry charges every touch and inspires every second of every game. It turns the blare of a vuvuzela into a battle cry. It makes the skill better, the stakes higher, the dying seconds longer. Not only do we understand it, we respect it and champion it, setting the stage for the players to weave their magic, tease us with their tsamaya, and show off their shibobo. And for the fans to bring their hearts and the noise, not just on match day, on every day. Because rivalry doesn't start at kickoff, and it doesn't stop when the final whistle blows. So bring the fire. Bring the Stockthorne Namagenge to the season tickets for the squad. Bring the not-so-friendly bet with the guy at work who has to wear your team colors when you win. Woza for the one skipper and the two skipper. Woza Arrows, Mabaka, Cape Town City, Celtic, Nambatsatanza. Bring it, Makosi, AX, the Brazilians, Free State Stars, Nosutu. Shine, you clever boys, because this season there's going to be a rivalry like you've never seen before. Woza Nazo. This is the ABSA Premiership.
Woza Nazo. Sounds really exciting, isn't it? Well, Bobby, tell us a little bit more about Woza Nazo and how this campaign was developed.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about this. We said it's 10 years, so it's the beginning of a new decade. We're looking for a campaign that will really help us to galvanize the weekends. So we want all weekends to really be special about the tournaments that happens. So Woza Nazo, as the name implies, is bring it on. We're saying, bring it on. We're talking about the players, we're talking about the coaches, we're talking about the fans, we include even our colleagues, people that we work with in the branches. We want everyone to really get excited about the weekend, looking forward to the spectacle as it's played out. So the cornerstone of the whole thing about Woza Nazo really is about rivalry.
Yep.
It's about two teams, it's about two coaches, it's about even two suburbs, it's about two cities, and so on and so on. So I think it's a phenomenal way of thinking about how do we, when two people or two entities compete, typically what happens is we improve everything. Everything gets better. So we wanted to find a way to really touch on the emotions that the chairman spoke about, to really galvanize, to make the weekends very special. And we think that this whole campaign around Woza Nazo gives us a wonderful platform to really get everyone excited. So that's what it's about. You saw a little snippet, but I think there's a lot more to come around what Woza Nazo is going to be about.
Oh, man, sounds really, really exciting. Dr. Khoza, tell us, Woza Nazo, I mean, why is it so important to develop and really work on and nurture these particular rivalries? Why is it so important to work on these rivalries as a concept for all stakeholders?
The most important thing is that, ABSA has got 480 events in a season. So they've decided that they come up with these rivalries to make sure that we get the community involved, we get the customers involved in that community. But more importantly, every weekend of the rivalry, on a Thursday, there will be a dinner. Don't ask tickets from me. Ask tickets from Bobby or David Winfield, because all the people who are ABSA customers or potential customers, they'll be invited in this very important what called dinners, where they will be meeting with the favorite players, meeting me for a change. You don't get to see me all the time. There's a chance to see me. So it's a chance of a lifetime to make sure that, I'm there to make sure that I participate in this rivalry. But more importantly, to position this PSL, because people didn't understand why the league is unpredictable. So it's for you in that local community to give support, to your team, because now you make it easy with geographical distance to say we are coming, bring the show to your house, to you, to make sure that for the first time we don't say come to FNB, come wherever, come to ABSA. Yeah. ABSA is the one. We are ABSAizing everything to make sure that everybody is part of the show.
Well done.
We love it. We love it. All right. So we're going to be enjoying Woza Nazo rivalry weekends all across the country. As I said, we're making these announcements not just here live in our studios in Randburg, here on your World of Champions, but all across the country as well. Let's go to one of the venues where we're going to be enjoying this rivalry, this Woza Nazo weekend. We start off at ABSA. We're going to Cape Town now. Julia Stewart is standing by, and she's got some interesting guests there with her. A very good evening, Julia. Such an exciting night. And man, oh man, are we looking forward to these rivalries.
Thank you so much, Carol. A warm welcome to the Mother City. We are in the heart of Cape Town at the Cullinan Hotel. Everyone is excited for the start of the new 2017-2018 ABSA Premiership season. And it's fitting then with the theme for this year, Woza Nazo. Why the rivalry? That we are here tonight because this is the home of the newest rivalry in the ABSA Premiership. Still in its infancy, just one season old, but it is one of the fiercest. I think the fans here tonight will tell you by their sounds, by their applause, that it is fierce. This Cape Town City and Ajax Cape Town rivalry. We are joined by members and representatives of the two teams. So I'll start immediately with Judas Mosiamede, striker for Cape Town City FC. Judas, it was a rivalry that Cape Town City dominated last season. Is that making it even more fierce this season between yourselves and Ajax Cape Town? What can we expect from this Ikapa derby?
I think last season we had a very interesting derby, and then we're looking forward to this season again, and then it's all about collecting the 6 points. Yeah.
Judas, just tell us very quickly about your preparations for the season ahead. I know the league is starting on Friday for you guys.
Yes, Cape Town City, we've been preparing very well, and then we have a quality squad that we pretty sure that we're going to make an impact, and then yeah, we're ready for the season.
Well, now we're going to hear from Mitch de Avres, the technical director of Ajax Cape Town. Mitch, you've been around and seen plenty derbies in your time. What about this rivalry is different between Cape Town City and Ajax Cape Town? What makes it so intense?
Well, I think the history between the two owners is well documented, so I think that adds a little extra spice. But like Judas says, I mean, they turned us over twice last season, so we're going to make sure that this season is not going to happen again.
Just tell us how determined the boys are to do that, because you didn't even score a goal against them last season, so how much did that hurt?
Yeah, we didn't score many goals full stop, but don't forget that. Yeah, no, look, that's last season, that's in the past. We're looking forward, we're positive, and yeah, we're looking forward to the start of the season, and obviously a little bit down the line to the derby.
A lot of excitement in Cape Town about this derby, about the season as a whole. The football love in the city has definitely been reignited. We're going to hear from John Chabalala. He's the managing executive of ABSA Western Cape. John, what do you have planned for this massive match on the 30th of September?
Thanks, Julia. I think the first thing I need to mention that as the ABSA Premiership sponsorship, we are quite excited about this whole rivalry and the Woza Nazo campaign. And our fans and the fans of the respective clubs in the Cape Town, they can expect a lot of activity as part of the build-up towards the day of the match, and a lot of activities that we are going to announce in the no distant future.
Oh, we certainly look forward to that. It's the Ikapa derby on the 30th of September at the Cape Town Stadium, and the league kicks off this weekend. Cape Town's excited. Back to you, Carol.
We love it. We love it. All right. Cape Town is excited. I mean, there's so much to really talk about when it comes to this Woza Nazo campaign. We've got a lot of guests here in studio. We'll be giving you, the fans of the beautiful game, all the information that you need ahead of the Woza Nazo weekends. After the break, we'll be heading over to Nelson Mandela Bay to Port Elizabeth. But first, take a look at the Woza Nazo commercial that you'll be enjoying this season.
Nazo. Woza Nazo.
You know what makes this better? Rivalry. This is the ABSA Premiership.
Well, a lot of excitement here with our in-studio live audience, important members of the footballing family. Looking forward to all of the rivalries that we'll be enjoying throughout this ABSA Premiership season and the Woza Nazo weekends. Now, as I said before the break, we're heading over to one of the host cities that will be staging the Woza Nazo rivalry between Chippa United as well as Mamelodi Sundowns on the 25th of November. So expecting plenty to happen in Port Elizabeth round about that time. Let's cross over to PE right now, where we'll join Lindy, where of course it will tell us a little bit more about the excitement that's already been garnered out in Port Elizabeth ahead of the rivalry weekends. Lindiwe, good evening.
Thank you, First Lady. I am in the friendly city home to Chippa United. Joining me is their goalkeeper, Daniel Akbay. Daniel, thank you so much for chatting to us. Your Woza Nazo rivalry match is up against Mamelodi Sundowns on the 25th of November. How difficult is it to motivate the team, playing against African champions?
I'm so looking forward to that day of the game because in 3 occasions, like I said, we've played against Sundowns and we lost twice, we drew 1. And I'm looking forward to winning against them, and I'm sure that's enough motivation from me and my teammates, to come out victorious on that day, and not just for us, but also for the fans who is actually waiting for, victory on that day.
Thank you, Daniel. All the best.
It's a pleasure having me.
That's Chippa United goalkeeper Daniel Akbay. They play against Mamelodi Sundowns on the 25th of November. Joining me right now is the provincial managing exec, Ms. Chiwela Mhlanhla. Appreciate your time. Now, this was another rivalry fixture between Mamelodi Sundowns. How important is it for the city, of PE? We know that United are the only team representing the region.
Truly so, Lindiwe. It is very important for us to rally behind Chippa United. Yes, you're right when you say it's the only team in our city, and therefore the fixture named David Goliath becomes very important for us. But I think more importantly is that it creates the downstream economy for our city, whether it's trade, whether it's also about getting, the developmental teams to really start seeing opportunities that will make them into great giants into the future. So we are very excited as a province that we are going to make our stadium really, really functional. And also as ABSA, we are going to make sure that our clients are also part of this journey when we support Chippa United in the province.
Thank you, Ms. Chiwela.
Thank you.
2017-2018 ABSA Premiership campaign, Woza Nazo. Back to you, First Lady.
All right, Woza now. So as we say, we've got some interesting guests as well here in the studio just to talk a little bit more about the Woza Nazo rivalries. And they're joining me actually right now. Let me introduce them to you. Starting off from ABSA, we've got the ABSA and Barclays Africa Group Head of Marketing, Mr. David Wingfield. We've got my boss in the middle, and that is SuperSport's Head of Production, Mr. Alvin Naika, and SuperSport Analyst and Football Fundi, Mark Gleeson. Let's talk about this Woza Nazo campaign and the weekend's concept in particular. Mark, let me start off with you. I mean, how important is it that we have these rivalries in the context of football and obviously drumming up the excitement ahead of these key matchups?
No, absolutely vital, Carol, because I think, the great thing about the PSL, it's a national league. It's not only just the Johannesburg league. So it's not only just the Soweto derby. We've got Free State, we've got Natal, we've got Cape Town. And we've got teams, of course, elsewhere as well, in Bethlehem, in Tshwane, and in Port Elizabeth. And to have that national nature creates all these little rivalries around the place, which really, I think, enlivens the league. I mean, if you look at some of the better leagues in the world, you look at La Liga, for example, it's just that Barcelona-Real Madrid game, which everybody stops and watches. But for the rest, it's a fairly mundane product. Here in South Africa, I think we've got 6 or 7 really enticing games throughout this, or 6 or 7 rivalries. Twice a year, twice a season, really enticing games. So I think it's absolutely vital, and we're quite blessed in this country to have that sort of national look about our league and all these intriguing little subplots to the season.
Yeah, I mean, just talking about that national nature, is it an indication that when it comes to the ABSA Premiership, this is a healthy state of affairs, that we have so many different rivalries?
Absolutely. I mean, I think if you sit right now and you speak to pundits across the board, there's 6, 7, 8 clubs who are potential champions. There are 6 or 7 spoilers in the league. You actually don't know what's going to happen week by week. Whereas a lot of leagues internationally, I think, are very predictable. You know, you see the same sides year after year. It's your Ajax Amsterdam and Feyenoord every year, PSV every now and then. In South Africa, you absolutely have no idea this time of the year what you're going to be getting in May. And I think if you look at our season last year, we had 5 or 6 clubs chasing in March for the title. It went down a little bit too quickly, in my opinion, because it would have been a nicer finish, but Wits and Sundowns sort of left the rest behind, and then they settled it themselves. But how exciting was it in March and in April to be pondering about 6 or 7 different potential champions? I think that's a really healthy sign.
Oh, it certainly is, isn't it? Let's talk about the television product and broadcasting, Alvin. I mean, the Woza Nazo weekends, what role do you think that they can play when it comes to the television product of the ABSA Premiership?
I think it's a fantastic initiative. I think first and foremost, we've always given great focus on all these derbies, but not to the extent that we're going now. The focus has always been Chiefs Pirates, or whether it happens to be SuperSport Sundowns. But this year, I think it's looking more at Bloem Celtic versus Free State Stars. You know, what is it about? Let's go behind the scenes. We on the World of Champions want to get into those little towns, the cities, and get to know who are the former players that played in these big derbies, and what is the rivalry all about, and build up the hype with our broadcast sponsors and ensure that we're bringing this back to the viewers in a way that is packaged on a global level.
Yeah, and how important is it that you have this working relationship between the sponsor or the partner, between the Premier Soccer League and the broadcaster to make a campaign like this work?
Any successful TV product requires fantastic sponsors, a great stakeholder like the PSL, and a good broadcast partner like SuperSport. So we believe that together this is a fantastic partnership.
It certainly is, isn't it? David, I know that a major talking point about the announcements being made today in the Woza Nazo campaign are the fans that are really at the heart of it. Tell us a little bit more about this campaign and how the fans are going to be a part of it, how it's going to be happening for them.
Yeah, thanks, Carol. I think what's important about the Woza Nazo weekend is that every team, all 16 teams, will be involved in a Woza Nazo weekend. We've got 10 of them. And the idea is that we will take the show to all of the big centres. We'll be in Durban, Cape Town, Joburg, Bloem, Tshwane, Durban, Rustenburg, Polokwane. We'll be there, and we'll be spending a week in all of those towns, every single day, activating in malls, in universities, in technical colleges. So we're just really getting people on board. We'll be in all of our branches. So the show comes to town for a week, and it's all about the fans. As part of that, what we will be doing is getting a huge set of fans coming with us to the game on the weekend. We have a a product called the ABSA Red Ticket. And essentially we'll be taking a good few thousand to every single game. We'll be looking after them, feeding them, giving them something to drink, and really giving people a VIP experience. Because this is about the fans. How do we get them back into the stadiums in really, really big numbers? Take the show to town, get hold of the fans, get them into the stadium. That's what we're trying to do.
I know you wanted to add to that, Alvin.
Yeah, I just want to say that as the World of Champions, we'll be there all the way with ABSA and the PSL, making sure that we showcase this great content.
Oh, yeah. Good news indeed. I know that there's also, the big news is that there's, what, R1 million that is up for grabs for fans. Tell us about this kick for $1 million penalty shootout.
Absolutely. So every one of these games, over the 10 games, you have to be in the stadium before kickoff, and we'll take 3 fans from each team, and they will have a penalty shootout at half-time. And every one of those 6 people will win something. And then we will take the winner of the actual shootout, take those 10 people to the trophy handover game when the league is decided, and they will be kicking for R1 million. It's an absolutely life-changing experience for a fan in this country. And I think it's the first time it's been done, and we're looking forward to it. It could be a really great show.
Oh, unbelievable, isn't it, Mark? I mean, I know that one question that we've been asking is how is it that we bring more of the fans to the venue? So obviously, you know, drumming up these rivalries and hyping it up ahead of the fixtures is definitely going to help, and an initiative like this.
Absolutely. I think it's the one little crucial component that perhaps is missing in the PSL product. The football is great. The tempo of the game is great. The stadiums are fantastic. The ground, the pitches are world-class since 2010. And these initiatives must be applauded, because if we can get a bit more of a buzz in the crowd, I mean, once you get a little bit, every week, a few more people coming, people tend to flock to where the action is. And I think by the end of the season, we'll see a real PSL buzz around South African football.
Oh, man, a real PSL buzz around South African football all across the country. And that's why now we're heading over to another one of the venues where we're going to talk about one of the rivalries there. Out in KwaZulu-Natal, we're heading over to Durban, and Ulwazi is going to tell us whom he's going to be chatting to and about one of the weekends to look forward to. Good evening, Ulwazi.
Thank you very much, Carol. A very warm welcome to you and, of course, our viewers across your world of champions. Lwazi Zikubu is my name, and I'm alongside quite a panel, of course, including Kevin Johnson, who is the coach at AmaZulu, Musa Bilankulu of Golden Arrows, and Farouk Kadodia, who's the chairman at Maritzburg United, alongside Faisal Mkhize, who is of ABSA as well. And I'm going to jump right into it, Kevin. Just quickly give us your thoughts on how important rivalries are, especially in this region and growing the game of football in this particular part of the country.
Yeah, just arrived in Durban. I think the rivalry is unlimited, especially when you look at Golden Arrows and AmaZulu. It's been there since the days of Shaka. Credit to Maritzburg. In the last 3 years, I've noticed their crowd in Maritzburg is unlimited, and for that they've got to give credit. But the rivalry within the Durban clubs, I think, is going to be good for Durban.
It certainly will be very good for Durban. And Musa, you've played in a number of derbies in your time in this part of the country. And just quickly, give us your thoughts on seeing fans in the stadium. I mean, this campaign is geared towards having the fans in the stadium. As a player, what does it do for you?
Yeah, as a player, to play in a derby is very encouraging and motivating. So I believe this season is going to be more interesting again, because AmaZulu is back, and I believe we're going to pull so many spectators and sponsors in the province.
Well, we certainly hope that is the case. And from a chairman's point of view, from behind the scenes, and how difficult is it, Farouk, to galvanize and give your side as much confidence as you can in trying to win derby matches against the likes of Arrows and AmaZulu?
Well, first, it's great to have AmaZulu back in the Premiership. Over the years, hosting AmaZulu and Golden Arrows has been something that's a big excitement in our calendar. At having Woza especially, the fans respond very well, and the excitement on the field, there's never a dull moment.
Certainly hoping for more not-so-dull moments as far as this coming season is concerned. And from a sponsorship point of view, Faisal, again, this initiative is geared towards the fans. What can they look forward to over the next couple of months?
I think we're going to have a very exciting season. We're very happy with the campaign. And one special thing with regards to this season is that we have a Kick for $1 million competition. This is directed to the fans to reward them for the support that they've given us as a sponsor. We're very excited, very happy.
Well, as you can hear, Carol, and I'm sure the fans have heard that as well, there's plenty of prizes to be won and just giving your support as far as the ABSA Premiership is concerned. We're going to go back to you now, Carol, and while you continue with the fine job you're doing, we'll go back to having a bit of fun here at the Moses Mabhida Stadium.
Wonderful stuff, Lwazi. Thank you so much. So, KwaZulu-Natal, very, very excited about the rivalries to come this ABSA Premiership season. And it starts right now, doesn't it, David? So we've got the SuperSport United and Mamelodi Sundowns encounter, the Tshwane rivalry already coming up on the weekend. Talk to the fans. They have to come out and support this one.
They absolutely do. They need to get there before kick-off and kick for the penalty shootout. But we really, really are looking forward to it. First one, SuperSport versus Sundowns. It's kickoffs at 3. You can follow it, hashtag ABSA Prem or hashtag SS DStv. Yeah, so keep your eye out for all the details.
Yeah, so the excitement starts now already from a broadcasting point of view.
Absolutely. So the game's at 3 p.m. on Saturday afternoon. The build-up will be from around about 2 p.m. In the afternoon. It'll be on your World of Champions, SS4, in HD as well.
About to say, live
and at the same time, as Dave mentioned, you know, it's hashtag SS DStv and ABSA Prem.
And how important is this rivalry, SuperSport United Sundowns?
No, it's a fantastic rivalry. 2 spending clubs, 2 exciting coaches, 2 great squads, lots and lots of talent. And I think over the years they've really mixed it up. I think SuperSport, to be fair, have been a little bit in Sundown's shadow as far as the league results are concerned. They got a bit of a hiding last year. I think it was Stuart Baxter's heaviest defeat ever. But on the other hand, they won a cup game against SuperSport, against Sundowns, so they sort of perhaps got a measure of revenge. But this has really been a spicy duel over the last couple of years. I think everyone looked at the fixtures and thought this is a fantastic start to the season, except probably the 2 coaches. They probably would have liked to have a little bit of a softer start. But I think as a football fan, when you start your first weekend with a clash like that, I mean, that's fantastic.
Oh, man, it certainly is, isn't it? So looking forward to that one. Make sure that you head on to the stadium. You get there nice and early to stand in line, of course, of winning that 1 million rand throughout the season. It's going to be awesome. Gentlemen, thank you so, so much for filling us in, giving us all of the details from a broadcasting point of view when you talk about the beautiful game. And, of course, what's in it for you, the fans of the beautiful game. After the break, stay right where you are because we're going to be heading out to the Free State and talking about the rivalry there. Woza Nazo. Don't go anywhere. Ready or not, the new ABSA Premiership season is upon us. And I mean, just look at the fixtures in the opening weekend. Live and in high definition, right on your World of Champions. But Best Vids and Cape Town City getting it all started. Then we've got SuperSport United and Sundowns. We spoke about this one. Key encounter. Orlando Pirates, Chipa United. Make a note of all of these fixtures. It's going to be a busy weekend. Bloem Celtic, Namakosi, Platinum Stars and Maritzburg United. Man, it's full steam ahead. And a lot of these teams are saying Woza Nazo to their rivals. All right, looking forward to the action. And we've been enjoying this broadcast, haven't we, as fans of the beautiful game? Looking forward to being there, watching the action live, and of course watching it unfold as well on your World of Champions. We've spoken about what it is that you stand to win as a fan and a keen follower of the beautiful game as well. So make sure that you go out to the venues and support your favorite teams. Now, speaking about all of these different rivalries, it's time now that we head out to the Free State and chat a little bit more about the Bloemfontein Celtic and Free State Stars rivalry. We've got Ufiso, who's standing by in Bloemfontein with some interesting guests that are going to talk about the season ahead. Fiso, over to you.
Well, thank you, Carol. Well, I'm in the City of Roses, Bloemfontein, for the exciting ABSA Premiership Woza Nazo launch. And, well, it's always a buzz in the City of Roses when you talk about football. Siwelele, passionate fans. And I've got a few gentlemen on the left to speak about this exciting challenge. Firstly, I'd like to introduce them. I've got Mr. Bertie Smith, the ABSA Managing Director for the Central Region, the Bloemfontein Celtic coach, Veselin Jesulic, and Patrick Tinyem, the captain of Bloemfontein Celtic. I'm going to start with you, Bertie. Wow, what an initiative. Exciting times ahead, isn't it?
Thanks, Fiso. Yes. You know, it's the coach and the players, they always put in a lot of effort to make sure that on the day, you know, that they bring their best skills to the game. But another very important ingredient to a successful rivalry is the fan base. And I think what we're trying to do here is to make sure that the fan base also bring their A game to match day and to make sure that they can leave that day with the bragging rights that they've been the best fans. Thank you.
I'm going to move on to you, Coach. Bertie touched on the fact about fans. Suelele, known for their passionate support. You're a new coach. You must be looking forward to working with the fans.
Sivelela's support is extremely important for us, and we invite all of them to come to help us to have a good performance and achieve a good result.
I'm going to move on to the man on my far side there, Patrick. You've been at Celtic for a really long time. You know what Celtic's all about. You know about the rivalry between Celtic and Free State Stars. Talk us through that and the importance of getting those bragging rights.
We want to start well this season because we didn't have a very good campaign, and the management brought in a very good coach and very good players. So I think everything is together now for us to have a very good campaign. So I believe that from Sunday on we're going to start very well and we're going to make a lot of people happy.
Well, Bloemfontein Celtic looking forward to the new campaign. I believe the slogan is Woza Nazo. Should be an exciting season.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiso and the team out there in the Free State. Man, oh man, are we looking forward to coming out there and taking a look at the rivalries out in the Free State. Now, talking about rivalries, look at the panel of individuals joining me now. The top coaches in the ABSA Premiership. And it only makes sense that we start with the champion, first of all. Coach Gavin Hunt of Bidvest Wits. Coach, we're talking about rivalries. As an individual who, of course, grew up in the fairest Cape, you know all about rivalries and how important they are in the beautiful game.
Yes, they are, Carol. I mean, I think people want to see different rivalries with South Africa, and I think that's what you've seen. You're going to certainly see in the last couple of seasons. It's been fantastic, and certainly it's not taken away from the main derby, which we, you know, and we're looking forward to the season again. There certainly will be a lot of rivalries, that's for sure.
A lot of rivalries indeed. And, I mean, we already spoke about one in the opening weekend. Your old team, SuperSport United, coming up against Mamelodi Sundowns. Are these the type of games that are going to attract more of the fans coming into the stadium and attract a lot of the excitement?
Well, you hope so, Carol, because that's what we want to see in our game. I think that's one part of our game that's certainly missing, is to get more supporters in on all the games, you know, and I think that'll create a much better product. I think the players love it when there's more people in the stands, and it's something that we all strive for and look forward to on the weekend, you know.
How important is your opening fixture? Does it set the tone for the rest of the season?
Well, you always like to think so. Yeah. You always like to get off to a good start. I'm sure every team's the same. So we are under no illusions of the game we've got to play.
Big one for you on Friday, yeah.
Every game's a tough game. And I think if you look at the PSL over the years, the teams have got closer and closer. And certainly there's no games where in the days gone by we would say, well, you know, that's a 3-point game for that team or that team. So there's certainly a lot of games that could go either way. And if you're not on that day or that night, I think you're going to have a problem.
Oh, man. Oh, looking forward to that particular encounter. Also going to be live on your World of Champions, Bidvest Wits, and, of course, Cape Town City. Now, let's talk about Saturday. We've got Coach Pitso Msimane and Coach Eric Tinkler. So I want to start off with you. I mean, both very, very well-traveled individuals. And, Coach, you know, when we talk about rivalries and supporters, I mean, this is something that is very, very much ingrained in football. Looking at whom it is that you're going to come up against, SuperSport United, a team that you know very well. Your feelings ahead of the game on Saturday?
Yeah, thank you, Carol. The derby between SuperSport United and Mamelodi Sundowns is always exciting. Everybody knows, and there's always goals there. Yeah. It's never a lovely draw, as everybody says. It's a lovely draw. Yeah. It's never a lovely draw. It's always exciting. There's goals, but as much as we might have won more on the league than SuperSport United, but it's never taken for granted. It's always on the edge, and it's always exciting, and it's going to be a very, very good. I think SuperSport have strengthened. They've got a new coach now, and it's exciting. You saw when they played against the Chiefs how stubborn they were. So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for us, but it will always be there. We're looking forward.
And with your history with SuperSport United as well, this must be a fixture that is extra special for you.
Yeah, I was just speaking to Gavin now that Steve is the only one who hasn't been here at SuperSport United. It's always exciting. It's a good home. It's a good place. It's a good club, stable club. And I'm not surprised why Eric is around here. We've been here. we have left our footprints, all of us, and I think he's got capacity to leave his footprint.
Stevie needs, I think Steve needs the SuperSport Muti. Maybe he should come there one day.
Perhaps. Eric, I mean, you know, talking about Coach Steve Kompel as well, you've had the experience of, you know, preparing for Soweto derby, for example. Yeah. What changes in terms of the mentality, getting ready for a derby encounter?
The pressure.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the derby, because obviously it's all about bragging rights and the importance the game has towards the fans. And it's obviously a game that, you know, you don't want to lose. And I think to a degree that puts too much pressure on the players in particular, and sometimes it doesn't produce the best performance that people actually want to see. You know, but I think what becomes very important is that everybody goes out and enjoys the occasion, because it is a fantastic occasion, because it's about a city, it's about a town, you know, similar to our derby. It's about the Tshwane derby, it's about the people from Tshwane having the bragging rights until the next encounter, you know, and that's a special occasion.
It certainly is. So fans, come on out and support your particular side ahead of the fixture. Derbies, I mean, it's always big. And aren't you loving the fact that we're starting to see more rivalries being formulated? And it's not just about the Soweto derby anymore.
It's great. It's great for the product, for the game.
Yeah.
And the more the merrier. And you have seen how it has unfolded even the previous season. The top 6 teams, it was very tight. Anybody in the top 6 could have won the championship, and it's beautiful like that. It only helps the national game as well and the national coach. For us as PSL coaches, we'll just have to keep on going week in, week out, try improve the product.
Mara, for these two, for Eric and Peter, I mean, how difficult is it to get the season started with the derby?
It's no different. Yeah? You heard him yesterday, he was complaining about the first match being an MTN 8 competitive match. Yeah. He would have wished to have a league match where you gain momentum. There's nothing like that. You have it, you have to go through it. And for Eric as well, went in, and just before we came here on set, he was saying he's playing Sundowns, and after Sundowns, he has to play Kaizer Chiefs. So it tells you already the stress levels. There's one reporter who said to me, do I think now the pressure is back on? I said it had never been off. The chair is never cold, it's forever hot. Anybody who says it's hot, it has never been cold. But we enjoy the heat.
All right, they love it. They're in the hot seat and they enjoy it. Looking forward to this forthcoming ABSA Premiership season. Thank you all so much, coaches, and the very best of luck this season.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you.
Let's continue our road trip around the country. This time around, we head on to Polokwane, and Tata Moeng is standing by there. Who are your guests and what are you talking about? Woza Nazo, Titi.
Well, thank you, Carol. I am out in Limpopo, and it's all about the ABSA Premiership 2017-2018 Woza Nazo campaign launch. It's all exciting, especially when we have the two coaches here sitting in front of the fans, and they're here to elaborate what we can expect this season. But I'm also here with Oscar Siziba from ABSA. Now, Oscar, if you could just elaborate to us, why is it so important that the fans come out and enjoy the rivalry on the pitch this season?
This year is going to be exciting, amazing. Our fans must come in numbers early to the stadium because they have an opportunity to win R1 million in a shootout. This is the only way we can make a difference to the people of Limpopo and their own lives. That's what ABSA Woza Nazo is all about this year.
Coach Kholaka Tobojani, as you heard Oscar, he said Woza Nazo. This Saturday, Woza Nazo, you're meeting up with Polokwane City. What can fans expect?
Thanks very much. The fans, let them come in number, because what we have for them is a flair, a beautiful game of football they will enjoy. Let them come in number. Thanks.
Well, it's all about talking about the fans coming in numbers. Coach Bernard, I know you're hoping that most of those fans are Polokwane City fans, but how important as well is it for the province of Limpopo when we talk about football rivalry?
Yeah, it is important because football soccer is #1 sport in Limpopo. So we are saying we want to take this rivalry into another level, whereby the other cities, they've got a rivalry. So it will be starting on Saturday.
Well, Carol, they've described themselves as brothers, but this weekend the rivalry certainly does kick off here in Limpopo as they meet up in the derby. But we also will have the Woza Nazo rivalry campaign between these two teams a little bit later next year. It's all exciting as we look forward to the brand spanking new ABSA Premiership season, Carol.
I agree, Tato, and lots of excitement. So we're already starting the hype ahead of this weekend's action. Now, we spoke about the big Tshwane rivalry. Woza Nazo campaign. The Woza Nazo weekend starts right now. SuperSport United and Mamelodi Sundowns. Jones, tell us, so as an individual that's, really behind Matatanta Pitori, how do you feel about this Woza Nazo rivalry? And how do you feel about the weekend's game?
I feel great because when we play with Sundowns, even it's not a coach or technical staff, even the supporters, we are feeling pressure because of always since Pizzo came to Sundowns, it's very hard for us because of we didn't beat him and then we suffered to beat him. Since we beat him only one game at the tournament. So I think now we can't give him 6 goals, 6 points like last season. This is new season. I don't think he's going to get those 6 points again.
But
it's
now
finished.
you've got Eric Tinkler. Are you saying Woza Nazo?
I'm very much happy with Woza Nazo. Tinkler. He's always we always behind him, like the past coaches.
All right, Marcus, Masandawana.
Away. He said we'll give him 12 this time. 12.
It's not 12.
12 this time. And then after that, the sky is always the limit for you.
Yeah, the sky's the limit. But just a quick one as well, Marcus. You heard about this kick for $1 million competition. Are we going to see you at the stadiums trying to kick for $1 million?
No, Carol.
No?
Because we'll kick him for $1 million.
So yes, you'll be kicking Jones for the $1 million. All right, looking forward to it. There we have it, the big rivalry coming up this weekend on Saturday. We start the build-up from 2 o'clock, and it is live and in high definition at 3 p.m. Well, we've got just about enough time as well to cross now over to the Northwest Province, where we've got Gamza standing by in Rustenburg. Gamza.
Thank you very much, Carol. We're out here at the Royal Marang Hotel and at the clubhouse for what should be an interesting evening, as I have 2 gentlemen joining me here on the podium just to discuss the ramifications of the Woza Nazo campaign going into the 2017-2018 season. And I want to start with you, Vuomere, because as the captain of Platinum Stars, you know how important it is to have a rivalry match. Going forward, how critical is it that you do develop some sort of rivalry with whoever? There's murmurings that Baroka FC seem to be that team.
Yeah, I feel it's very important, to always give your supporters the bragging rights. If you want to have supporters that you're going to be wearing your replica jersey, you want to give them some pride, they must walk around with their shoulders held high. So if we have that rivalry, and we always win that rivalry, it's very important for them to go out, wear your jerseys at the mall and all that. They go out wearing their replica jerseys. It gives them a sense of happiness, and you can walk around proudly, and we feel like it's important. Sometimes our players, we believe that we don't get to see that side because we always get to the field play, but then we don't know what happens up there in the stands, when supporters are arguing, fighting over arguments and all that. So yeah, we feel that it's very important for us, to win the rivalry games, so for them to have some sort of pride.
Okay, thank you very much. We're also on the podium. We have the regional manager for business banking in the Northwest Province, in Mr. Khalaleso Tloaele. How important is this move now, the Woza Nazo campaign for ABSA going into the 2017-2018 season?
Well, it can only get better for our brand and, of course, the love of soccer. So we're really excited as ABSA that the activation for this current season is going to be the best in the 10 years of sponsorship. And of course, all the big cities and home teams will benefit from this. And we're looking so much to great soccer backed by the red rash, as we call it, ABSA.
There we go. Nicely put there. So that's as simple as it is as far as the Northwest contribution for the upcoming season. The Woza Nazo campaign about to get underway as ABSA celebrates signing on 3 more years to the ABSA Premiership. And that is a big statement from them. Back to you, Carol.
It's a big statement, isn't it, Kams? And boy, oh boy, we're looking forward to all of the fixtures. Gets underway on Friday. You've heard from the coaches, you've heard from the fans, and you've heard from all of the important stakeholders as well. It is going to be a big one. This ABSA Premiership season is going to be the best one yet. We certainly agree about that. So make a note of the fixtures and make sure that you are watching live and in high definition, and make sure that you go to the stadiums and fill them up. We're saying Woza Nazo. As we know, it's all about you fans this entire season. So make sure that you go out to the stadiums, support your teams, and stand in line. Kick for $1 million. $1 million rand could be yours. Woza Nazo. Good night.